What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to do another video on grocery shopping when your macros are lower. So my macros just got changed to 225 gram protein, 150 grams of carb, and 50 grams of fat. So I got dropped 20 grams of fat this past Tuesday after weigh-in. So I have to be a lot more efficient in how I stretch out my macronutrients throughout the day, so I'm not like dying at the end. So I picked up some new items because I do like changing it up every once in a while for variety purposes, and it's always good to try new things and incorporate old things that I've done in the past as macros get lower. So here's some things. The first thing is unsweetened almond milk. So with regular milk, you're gonna get 11-12 grams of carb just by a serving of milk alone. Doesn't matter what type of milk you get, from skim to whole milk, it doesn't really matter. But with this, a whole serving, 2.5 grams of fat, 1 gram of carb, and 1 gram of protein with a serving. And I don't even use a full serving when I use it for my cereals. The next thing that I use is tofu shiitake noodles. You can find this in any of the hippie sections of your grocery store. So like the organic, the places that I usually don't like shopping in, but for this purpose I go in there. So basically a whole package is only 8 grams or 6 grams of carb in it. So really good if you can get a whole bag of pasta for 6 grams, a lot of volume. The thing that you got to know about these though, they do smell weird, so you have to like drain them and then you rinse them with hot water, you pat them down, and pretty much takes on the flavor of anything that you put on with that. So a sauce or just different seasonings. So it's pretty good about taking on the flavors of whatever you put on it. The other thing is I got some different sauces. I kind of felt like some curry. I wanted some Japanese curry, but it has a little bit more fat content within the packaging that I wanted. So I got some Indian curry. So I got coconut curry and I got this tikka masala curry. It's a little bit on the spicier side. Yes, there are like 10 and 13 grams per serving, but I'm not going to use a whole serving. That's the nice thing too, is that I can make anything macro friendly. I don't have to use a full serving, I just need the flavoring. So I would probably use one of these sauces for the shiitake noodles, so I can add some volume. I can throw some vegetables in there, throw some protein in there, and boom, I have a hearty meal with a low caloric value and still filling my palate. I've been on a pizza kick, so I've been using these flat outs. It's pretty legit when it comes down to the macros and the fiber that you get. So 14 grams of carb, but 8 grams of fiber, and 9 grams of protein per rollout, and really like 1.5 grams of fat. But I eat the whole thing, and I use pasta sauce, I use some mozzarella cheese, throw some turkey pepperoni on there, even add some additional ground chicken on there, and you can eat the whole blasted thing for a very low caloric intake. And you can always change things up, the ingredients, but the fact remains that these flat outs are like really lifesavers when it comes down to volume. And the next thing is Jello. So sugar-free Jello. So this is probably a good staple. I'm gonna start using these because you can eat the whole package. There's 8 servings and there's 8 grams of protein in it. Nothing else, no carbs, no fat. So I actually got one in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna eat the whole thing tonight after dinner, and it's gonna kick me back 8 grams of protein. So the next thing is, of course, ice cream. So slow churn, I want to fit that in, but at the same time, it's good to have a variety of options in your household. So I got some Halo Top birthday cake, and I got some Arctic Zero as well. The thing about Arctic Zero, it doesn't have the nice texture that Halo Top has, or even slow churn has. So the next thing that you can add to it is some yogurt. So I got Carb Master yogurt. You can get it at Fred Meyer's or Walmart, but I don't even use a full serving. I just add this for texture. So one of these has 9 grams of protein and 5 grams of carb, but I don't even use the whole thing. just to add some texture to the Arctic Zero. I put this on my pancakes, my French toast, just to give it some more flair and flavor when it comes down to it, my protein cakes. The other thing is pumpkin. So this is probably one of the things that people usually don't get, but pumpkin has a good amount of fiber per serving, and you get a lot of it. So you can make French toast, you can make baked French toast, you can make pancakes, you can add, this to a lot of your breakfast foods that you can create more texture, more flavor around. So definitely check that out. The other thing I got just recently, I don't know why I got reduced sodium. I could care less about the sodium, but chicken broth, really good as well, because it only comes with a gram of protein and a gram of carb per serving. 240 milliliters, wouldn't even use the whole thing. But when I talk about using these noodles, changing the flavor profile is going to be very easy with this, and just making like a broth with some more vegetables, throwing in some chicken. Also, I can do some stir fries with cauliflower rice, add some chicken broth, add some different protein sources, vegetables, and it's going to completely change the flavor profiles. So it's all about variety for me. The next thing is chicken. I know I showed this the last time, but I found the shredded one, and that makes life so much more easier, because I put this with my tacos, I do this with my salads. It's already done for me, and this is really good just to find ways to make life so much easier in prep. Is you find something that's quick and easy, nutritional, and you don't have to worry about it. Of course, I got my baby spring mix, because this once again adds volume when it comes down to not eating very much. So I eat a salad a day, a pretty big one, and I still weigh it out, of course, but I get a lot of volume, and it feels like I'm eating a lot, even though I'm not. And of course, salsa. Salsa is a really good one as far as carbs as well. There's only like 2 grams per serving, and it just depends on which one you get. So honestly, these just help out with different flavors, rather than just eating bland chicken and broccoli all the time. And so there's different ways to change it up, mix it up. And of course, I got some sugar-free strawberry preserves. Once again, I can make French toast out of this. I can make sandwiches on the 45-calorie Sara Lee breads. There's just different ways to make things a lot more fun during prep. When your foods are low, that's when the real fun begins, because you got to figure out how to be creative to make sure that you can still feel full, but also capture some flavors. The last thing, of course, is bacon. I'm actually using real bacon this time. This past week, I changed it up because I was getting tired of turkey bacon. So when you look at the macros for this, though, it's only 4 grams of fat and 5 grams of protein for every 2 slices. When you look at turkey bacon, the breakdown is pretty much the same when it comes down to fat content. Actually, it's like 1 more gram of fat for turkey bacon, and about the same amount of protein. So I figure I make the switch up, change it up, and that keeps it lively for me. Other than that, I mean, the last thing is just baking powder. Baking powder just keeps keeps everything, fluffy. So when I make pancakes, protein pancakes, this will help make them more volume, more fluffier. That definitely helps out with texture-wise. And then, so that's basically it with the foods that I've chosen for this grocery run, just to change things up. And if there's anything else, if you guys want to continue to follow more tips on how I continue to manage my macronutrients, you can follow me on my Instagram. It's KRZ Korean_TMNT. And then I actually update things on a daily basis with the foods that I choose, even some of my training, as I continue throughout this prep. So thanks for checking in.